Hi, I'm Neil Kleinberg, chef, owner, Clinton Street Baking Company and Restaurant on the Lower East Side. I'm here at Heritage, and we're making a Newman ham. I usually do this ham for the holidays, but we buy Heritage ham all year round for our ham, our country breakfast, which is kind of famous. Eggs any style, hash browns, a biscuit, a beautiful slab of Heritage ham on the grill or on the griddle. That's kind of like my favorite go-to breakfast because it's savory, sweet, and every kind of thing put together. We've been buying from Heritage for, I don't know, since it started. Patrick and I have been friends and baseball fanatics for years, and here I am making a ham. It doesn't always have to be for the holidays, but it's pretty great, this ham. This is a bone-in, so you need to cook it a little bit longer. And what I like to do is make these really deep incisions, kind of on the angle, like a crisscross. So I really like to make these deep incisions because the finished product is beautiful when the fat cap kind of separates and gets really crunchy and all that fat releases and back into the ham. So basically what I'm doing is like a cross hatch, and as you can see, I'm going like every 2 inches and I'm going pretty deep. And then I'm doing it the same way in the other direction, as you can see. So now I'm gonna do this side, and I'm going pretty deep. Like, I don't want to cut into the ham, into the meat, but as far into the fat as I can on the angle. And you'll see it like a nice diamond. I don't know if you can get this, but you're gonna get it when it comes out. You're gonna see it. Now I'm gonna go with our cloves. So what I like to do is put like a clove in a line every 3 to 4 inches. It doesn't really have to be exact. It's kind of like a feel. And then I want to make sure I can take these out when the ham comes out, because you don't want to eat into a whole clove. So here I go. Get a nice rhythm, a nice line of cloves. At this point, I can kind of envision putting the ham back on my roasting pan. As you can see, I have a really nice line of cloves, and what's going to happen is, as the ham cooks, the cloves are going to be embedded in it and give it a nice perfume, a beautiful little flavor. And so then I'm going to rest it on my rack. So we're going to make the glaze. So this glaze is really simple. It's really easy. There's not any procedure you need to do. What makes this glaze really great is the maple syrup and the bourbon. All of those things with the citrus of the orange and the pineapple are really great. So we're gonna do some orange juice. We're gonna do some maple syrup. Molasses is really key. It gives it a beautiful burnish and a really nice color. A little bit of brown sugar. That's gonna make it really caramelize beautifully. We'll do a few cinnamon sticks. We'll do some pineapple. This pineapple is beautiful, sweet, amazing. And then, a little bit of bourbon. The bourbon's gonna cook off, and it's gonna kind of embed in the ham and give it a really great, savory, medicinal, beautiful, amazing flavor. So just think about this glaze. It's kind of, you could even throw a couple of whole cloves in if you wanted. This recipe is also very forgiving because the ham is going to absorb all these flavors. It's going to cook for a few hours. So you just want to make sure you dissolve the molasses because that's the thickest ingredient. And then you're going to taste it. Tastes really nice. So we're gonna pour the glaze over the ham, and then we're going to bake it. I'd say 275 to 300 for about 3.5 hours. Even though this ham is smoked and pre-cooked, you really want to get a lot of time into it so it embeds all of the flavors of the glaze. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little switcheroo, and then I'm basically going to pour it like right over. If for some reason during the cooking process that your glaze starts to evaporate a little bit, you can always add a little water, and you basically want to take all these juices at the end of the cooking time. You'll see all the fat rendering, you'll see the top getting really nice and crisp. You'll want to pour the glaze back into a pan and cook it down. You'll want to skim off some of the fat, and then you really want to just let that baby cook. Okay, we're ready to go in the oven. So you can take a little spoon halfway through and baste it with a little of the glaze, but the glaze is kind of going to cover, and all of the perfume of the bourbon and all of the maple syrup and the pineapple juice and the orange juice is going to come out. So we're going to go right in this oven, and we're going to cook it about 3.5 hours at 275 to 300. Again, if you find it getting a little bit dark on the outside, you can always lower the oven. If it gets too dark and your oven is too hot, you can tent it with some aluminum foil and then pull it off. But you really want to get that beautiful caramelized glaze on the fat, and you want to be able to baste when it comes out so the ham absorbs all that glaze. That's it. Let's do it. Let's slice it. Let's eat it. We ready?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So you know when it's done, basically when all of those beautiful fatty pieces get really like toasty and caramelized, and you know that the ham is cooked in the middle. The low and slow gives you a really nice tender slice, and you always want to get like a little bit of the fat and a little bit of the meat together, kind of like that. See what I mean? Little of the fat, little of the meat.
Oh my God.
What's
Chef,
beautiful,
that's amazing.
thank you. What's beautiful about the ham is that you can slice it any way. You can slice it off this part. You can go right from the bone. You know, you can just really make that part's amazing. And then you can really just basically kind of take the glaze, and then you just nap it over like that. You know, a little bit of pineapple. So that's what's beautiful about the ham, is that no matter which part you slice it from, it doesn't have to be like a roast beef where you have to do, you know, against the grain or for the grain or anything. You could slice it really thick. You can go like that. You can get a little of the fat, a little of the pineapple. We haven't even put a dent in this, and it's so juicy in the middle. Still beautiful. A lot of the glaze has seeped in. And then you get just some really nice, lean, beautiful, tender pieces. I love the outside pieces like that
So
really
decadent.
caramelize like that. Try that. What's great about the ham is you could actually do this the day before, and then bring it out room temp, and then really slice it room temp. You don't really need something hot. I mean, you could always have a glaze or the drippings from the bottom of the pan to use for the ham, but again, you could use it for a sandwich. You could do it room temp on a buffet. You could serve it with something hot. You could do a cold ham sliced with potato salad and a little mustard on the side. There's so many ways to eat it and so many ways to use it, like for restaurant or for home. This ham is great the day after, 2 days after, 3 days after. It just gets better and better and better. I've been using this ham ever since we opened the restaurant. I mean, maybe a couple of times if we ran out or we'd get something else, and then everyone would say something's not right, you know, with the ham or the country breakfast, because the heritage ham is like really, you know, it's all natural, and it's, you know, the pigs are fed beautifully and they're raised, you know, without antibiotics. And the same thing with, you know, the pork shanks and the double cut pork chops and all of that. And one of the things I love about heritage is that if I have a gift to send to someone out of town, or one of my cousins or my brother's annoying birthday, I'll send them a heritage pork chops or some bacon or a little thing like that. And it's just easy, and people absolutely love it when they get a steak in the mail or a pork chop in the mail or a slab of bacon in the mail. I mean, nobody sends me shit like that, so I have to buy it myself or eat it from the restaurant.